So good morning and welcome to a practice on stability today. Let's go ahead and start on our backs with our feet hip distance apart, knees bent, and we'll do some breath there before we get into some movement. If you have your blocks, you can just have them close by. We won't use them quite yet. So as you take your position, we think about stability, the things that come to mind for you, images, people, practices. Let's put our attention into our feet. And in this position here, see if you can push down through your toes. Then push down through your heels. This next time when you push down through your toes, see if you can set each toe down individually. No need to get upset with yourself if that's not possible. But rather pay attention to what it feels like. We don't think of our toes individually very often unless one of them is bothering us. And maybe that's a neat place to let our minds go. What sort of things do we take for granted that offer us stability, but we maybe only tune in when it's not there? And building a connection between our feet and our breath. As you inhale, send your breath all the way down to your toes. Nice, slow, intentional exhale through your nose. Breathe in and let it go. One more. Adding some movement here. So feet hip distance apart, toes pointed towards the bottom of your mat. Dynamic bridge pose. So as you inhale, push down through your feet, lift your hips, lift your arms up and over. Keep pushing down through your toes and then exhale, slowly roll down. Tailbone comes to the mat, arms come to the mat. Take 4 of these. So find the rhythm that works for you if you want to go a little slower or a little faster, but moving with your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Feel your vertebrae as individual pieces of your spine. Last one here. And bring your knees in towards your chest. Take a nice squeeze. You can rock side to side to warm up your low back if that feels good. We'll do a little core strengthening here. So you can rest your arms either in a cactus position or straight out to the side. Bring your knees together in reverse tabletop. And as you exhale, we'll let our knees fall to the right, our head turn towards the left for a twist. But let your knees just hover above the earth. Inhale back up to center. If it doesn't feel good on your neck, you can just keep a neutral spine. Exhale, other side, head to the right, knees to the left, and inhale back to center. So your arms can help us some leverage. Let's take 5 more of these. Exhaling on the way down, inhaling on the way up. And the further that you have your knees away from your torso, the more intense it will be on your core. So you have a lot of control over that. Less about speed here and more about control. Where are the places of stability in this posture? I've lost count. Let's take 2 more to each side. What role does your belly button play? Last one to each side. Go ahead and set your feet onto the earth. And then bring the soles of your feet together. Open your knees wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. Arms can rest down on your side or at your belly. Find stability here. Push your feet in towards each other for a moment. And then release them as you let your knees fall a little bit closer to the earth. Tailbone on the mat. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And on your next exhale, allow your legs to stretch out long. And then inhale your arms up above your head. We'll take banana pose here. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and move your torso over to the right. Over to the left of your mat. So if you've got your left hand on your right wrist, so you're reaching over to the left side, and move your legs over to the left as well and cross your right foot over your left leg. So right hip wants to creep up. See if you can keep it down towards the mat. And as you breathe in here from the tips of your toes all the way up through your fingers, open your side body. Your inhales, you can reach further over to the left. And on your exhale, see if you can settle towards the earth. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And on your next exhale, unwind, come back to center, straighten out here. Feel nice and tall. Notice the difference between each side of your body. And then move to the other side. So right hand grabs left wrist. Move your torso over to the right. Then legs move over to the right as well. You can cross your left foot over your right ankle. If it's hard for your arms to stay on the ground, you can use a block to support underneath your elbow or your wrist. Think about your little intercostal muscles, the muscles between your ribs. Allow them to open, to soften. Few more breaths here. And exhale, release. Come back to center. Nice long stretch. Then return to where we started. Knees bent, feet on the mat. One more core strengthening here. So we'll lift our feet towards the ceiling. We're in reverse tabletop again. Shins and calves are parallel to the earth. So feel your tailbone and your low back flat on the mat. Then we'll inhale our arms up towards the ceiling as well. So fingers reach towards the sky. When you exhale, extend your left leg and your right arm in opposite directions. Inhale back to center. Other side, extend right leg, left arm. Come back to center. And then keep going. So you decide how far down you want your leg and arm to go. You can keep the arms steady and not move them, or just move the arms and not the legs. Lots of options. Belly button to spine here, that is our point of stability. Exhale as you come down. Inhale brings you back. Keep breathing. Find a rhythm. And let's take one more on each side. Beautiful. Then bring your knees in towards your chest. You can cross your ankles. That feels good. See if you can get your knees into the crooks of your elbows. Feel the compression between your thighs and your belly. And push your low back flat on the earth. A couple of breaths here. On your next exhale, release your left leg down. Keep your right knee in towards your chest. Push down through your left foot, flex it as you pull your right knee in up towards the crook of your armpit. Feel that extension. Low back flat on the mat. One more breath in here. Release, bring your left knee in to meet your right, and then switch out. Right leg extends, left knee in towards your chest. Two more breaths here. And then exhale, release. You can bring your right knee back in. We'll come up to seated. So if you'd like to rock and roll, however you'd like to get there. A couple of postures seated before we move into tabletop. So you're welcome to sit on a blanket. I'm going to bring my blocks to each side of me here as we do some lateral side stretching. So sit up nice and tall, find your sit bones, roll your shoulders down your back. Let's inhale our arms up above our head. Exhale, cactus your arms. Take a twist here, leading with our elbows. So as you exhale, left elbow towards the right. See if you can stay in one line. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, other direction. So sit bones stay heavy, twisting from the navel. Let's take two more each side. Exhale as you twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist. Back to center. Last one. Awesome. If you have your blocks here, you can rest your elbow on your block. Otherwise, just this way. We'll just take a lateral stretch this direction. The support of the block just gives you a little bit more leverage to lift up. One more breath in. Exhale, release back up to the center. Breathe in here tall, and then exhale to the other side. Hip nice and heavy, right hip nice and heavy. One more breath in. And exhale, come to the center. We'll come to tabletop, and if you have blocks, you can put them in front of you. Welcome to put your hands on top of the blocks. We're going to come down to our forearms in just a moment. But to begin, extend your right leg out. Make sure that your hips are square. And go ahead and bend your right knee. So your right foot is reaching towards the ceiling. You come down onto your elbows here. That works. You can have them on the ground as well. And from here, a very small pulse, engaging the glute, reaching your heel toward the ceiling. So the rest of your body isn't moving. Core is engaged. It's a very gentle, slow movement. So often we overcompensate with our hamstrings and we don't use our glute muscles. Let's take 4 more. Then extend your right leg out, feel the extension. Exhale, bring your right toes to the mat. Push down through your heel for a calf stretch. Stay on your elbows or come upright. And then from here, we'll move to side plank. So you can adjust your left foot out to the side. If you're on your elbow, you can stay there if you'd like to, or come up onto your hand. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. Push down through your right foot. And on your exhale, bring your right arm up and over your head, nice and slow. Exhale, arm comes down by your waist. If you do this quickly, you miss out on all of the sensation in your intercostals. Keep going. Arm comes up over your head. Exhale down. And then your hip. So very much about your breath here, not about your speed. Let's take 2 more. And last one, inhale up. Back into tabletop here. Take a round of cat and cow to neutralize the spine. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale, curl under. Navel to 2 more of those. Inhale, open up. And exhale, curl under. Last one. Inhale, open up. And exhale, curl under. Now extend your left leg back, flex your foot. Then bend at your left knee, left foot is as if it's on the ceiling. You can come down onto your elbows, engage your core, flatten your back, and gentle pulses on this side. Slow and steady. You may feel this more on your right leg now than you did on the left leg when you were on the other side, just because your right leg has done so much more work now. This glutes help to stabilize, I mean, everything, right? But right in this moment, right, stabilizing our hips. I think like the image of a tree that Rita offered for stability, that stability has to have room for movement, room for little change to happen, and to be able to remold, reshape around that change. Let's do 4 more. Extend your left leg out, bring your left toes down to the earth, push back into your calf. And let's come into side plank on this side. The right arm is down and supported, left arm lifts up. So you can keep your hips lifted, we don't want to be here, right? And on your exhale, left arm comes up above your head. Exhale, roll down slowly towards your waist. Inhale up. Exhale down. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one. Breathe in. Breathe out. Into tabletop. Spread your knees wide, toes to touch, and come down into child's pose. Extend your arms out in front of you. If you have your blocks here and you want to try resting your hands on your blocks, opens up another spot in your shoulders. Here in child's pose, pay attention to your feet here. They're meeting the ground in a different way. How can you take this shape as a sign of stability? Two more breaths here. So come back up through tabletop here. And then we'll tuck our toes and come into downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Option once again to have the blocks underneath your hands here if that feels better. Inhale up onto our tiptoes. Exhale, bend your knees and hover, bear pose. And then exhale, release back into down. 2 more. Inhale up onto your toes. Exhale, bend your knees and hover. And back to downward facing dog. 1 more. Breathe in onto the toes. Breathe out, bear pose. Breathe in, downward facing. Let's inhale our right leg up. Exhale, bring it through to a low lunge. And you can use your blocks here. With the support. Take a moment to stretch out our hip flexors before we come into warrior 1. So breathe in, bend into the lunge. Breathe out, straighten your front leg. Take a couple of those. One more, bend into the lunge. And straighten. Great. So for warrior 1, you want to make your stance a little bit smaller. Turn your back foot so that it's 45-degree angle. Bend in your front knee. And then as we inhale up into warrior 1, come up nice and tall. So hips are moving towards the front. So inhale, reach tall. Exhale, straighten your front leg, shine your heart forward. A little bit of a balance challenge there. Inhale, bend into it. Exhale, straighten the front leg, shine your heart. Hands come down by your sides. And last one. Inhale up. And exhale, shine. Stay here for a moment and interlace your arms behind your back. Roll your shoulders down. As you exhale, bend into your lunge. Breathe in tall. And then exhale, we'll come forward into humble warrior. Head towards the mat. Arms behind you. Push down through both feet. A lot of weight in the knife edge of your back foot here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Then exhale, release your hands down. If you have your blocks near you, we're going to walk ourselves over to the other side, pausing in a wide leg forward fold in the center. So you just walk your blocks with you. Come into Prasarita. Here we have the weight in our toes. Head towards the earth, but hips up and back. We'll take a twist here. So you can take your block in front of you, underneath your nose if you like. Left hand on the block, maybe a slight bend in the left knee. Inhale the right arm up, open towards the right. Imagine your spine is straight shot, chest is parallel to the earth. Exhale, right hand replaces the left, maybe slight bend in the right leg. Inhale, left arm up. Two more breaths here. Hips back, head reaches forward. And exhale, release. Come back to center. And then you can grab your blocks, take them with you, and turn towards the left. We'll come into a low lunge on this side. So taking some time here, bend and straighten the left leg, opening up your hip flexor. Last one. Come into your lunge. Set your back foot up for warrior one. Ground your weight in between both feet. Inhale, up to warrior one. Find your stance. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Hands come down by your sides. Shine your heart forward. Inhale, bend into the lunge. Exhale, heart forward. Inhale, bend. And exhale. Pause here for a breath. Push down through your feet as you lift your head up towards the ceiling even more. Then interlace your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulder blades together. Bend into the lunge. And exhale, come forward. Lead with your heart into humble warrior. With our arms, with our hands behind our body like this, feel this pull to lift your heart, but let your head hang. Always working with the power of opposites. Yoga. 3 more breaths here. Release your hands down to the mat. Walk yourself back towards a forward fold in the center here. Lift your hips up high, let your head rest. If you have a block here and you want to let your forehead rest on a block. Nice reminder to let go of the tension in our neck. 2 more breaths here. And exhale. Bring your hands to your hips, ground down through your feet. Slowly come up with a nice straight, flat spine. Pause here for a moment to let the blood rush back down. And then when you're ready, go ahead and toe heel your feet together. And you can come to the front of your mat. I'm going to stay facing this way. We'll do a little bit of balance here. So feet hip distance apart. Nice strong Tadasana pose. On your next inhale, we'll bring our arms up over our head for a count of 4. Exhale, hands come back down. Inhale, arms come in front of us, count of 4. And exhale down. So very simple movement. We'll do it 2 more times. Really think of pushing down through your feet, using the whole foundation of your foot. And then as we push down, engage our quads, we grow a little bit taller. Last time without our toes involved. Breathe in. This time, as we inhale, let's come up onto our toes. Exhale, heels back down to the mat. Inhale forward. Down. An easy posture to rush and think, I just need to get there. Take your time. Breathe in. Here, check in with your legs. Check in with your foundation. Same way that we started class, lifting all 10 toes. Make eye contact with your feet and see about setting them down, spreading them wide. What do you notice? What do you feel? Then tuning into the 4 points of stability. So the big toe mound, the pinky side of your foot, and then both sides of your heel. Think about pushing down into the ground from all 4 of those points, and then you'll feel your arch lift a little bit, almost like a suction cup. Let this be your stability. Our last strength training for today, stability training. I'm going to set both blocks just in front of me like this. If you don't have blocks, you want to use water bottles or you have a couch or something in front of you, you can do that as well. I'm going to work each leg separately. So left leg will be our standing leg to begin. Bring our hands to prayer. Inhale your right leg up into one-legged mountain. We'll do this first one nice and slow. Take a couple of breaths here. And then exhale, we'll transition into warrior 3. So straightening your back leg. Hands can come down to the blocks. That'll be your touch point. Then inhale back up to Tadasana. And put your back down. We'll do 6 of those on each side. Let's focus on this side first. Inhale, one-legged Tadasana. Exhale, warrior 3. Hands can come to the blocks. Inhale, back up, one-legged mountain. Exhale, put it down. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Exhale. Warrior three. Breathe into one-legged mountain. Exhale. You'll want a good focal point. Go ahead and keep going. After this one, we're halfway there. So a good reminder that as we move, we have to change our gaze, or I can't keep my eyes in the same spot when I go into warrior three. Two more. How can I be strong and flexible? Last one. Breathe in. Go into your right leg. Take your feet about as wide as your mat. Hands come down to your side and take a floppy arm twist. Two more breaths, and then we'll move to the other side. It's time for the weight into your right foot. Bring hands to prayer. Find your line of gaze. Inhale, left leg up. Engage your core. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, back up together. Rhythm. Music of your breath. For warrior three, it's not about how high your leg goes, just about this extension of your leg back. Kind of keep your hips square to the earth. After this one, we're halfway. One more. Left leg down when you finish that one. Feel the weight in both legs evenly. Close your eyes if that's helpful. Take your feet hip distance or as wide as your mat. And take some floppy arm twists. Come to the top of your mat. Let's inhale, both arms up above our head. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, tall. Exhale, lateral stretch to the right. Been here already today in different forms. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale up. And then exhale, forward fold. Stay here for a few breaths. If your low back's tender, you can take your feet a little bit wider. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath in. Come up onto your tiptoes. Lower your seat down. Come into a ball. And then roll your seat down onto the mat. Come into butterfly pose here. Option to put the blocks underneath your legs. Sit nice and tall. And exhale, let your heart lead as your heart brings you forward into a forward fold. Hips push back, heart comes forward. Exhale, release, come on up. I'm gonna take deer pose from here. So if your hips are tight, you might want to sit on a pillow or a blanket or even a block. Take our right leg in front of us so that it's parallel to the short side of the mat, and then your left leg behind you. So sort of a this pose, this shape. And you can have this left leg, as far back or as close in as feels good. From here, we want to try to square our hips, so that's where blocker blanket can be helpful. You've got three options. You can turn towards the right, maybe set a block down there and relax into it this way. You can come forward, either onto forearms or a block and be here. Or you can place a block in front of you, bring your right ear to the block, right arm comes underneath as if we're threading the needle. And then left arm can rest on top of your right hand or can rest on the small of your back. We'll be here for about 8 breaths. So wherever it is that you want to settle in, giving some TLC to our glutes. Listen to the sound of your breath. Two more breaths. And as we release, unwind yourself. And then walk yourself back up to center. Take both legs out in front of us, pausing in Dandasana before we switch sides. Then both feet in front of you. Open up your chest. Engage this 90-degree angle of our hips. More breath here. Look at deer pose on the other side. So bend your left knee so that the left shin is parallel to the top of your mat. Move your right leg back. Square your hips. And then again, the option to turn towards the left. Place your elbows on a block or the ground. To come forward and do so. Or to bring your left ear to the mat, to the block, and extend left arm through to thread the needle. With right arm either resting down at your side or coming to the small of your back. Eight slow, deep breaths here. One more breath in. And as you exhale, unwind. Bring both feet out in front of you. And from here, we'll roll ourselves down onto our backs. Take figure 4. with your right leg. So bend your right knee, let your right foot come to the top of your left knee, your thigh. Option to stay here or to thread your hands through, grab onto your hamstring or maybe your shin. If you have the block around, another thing to try that may or may not feel good is to lift up and put the block underneath your tailbone. And then from there, same stretch with just that little bit of lift. Changes it. Might be what you're looking for. As you breathe in, pull your legs in towards your chest more, your left leg. As you breathe out, think of your right knee moving away from your body. Might even help to push your right knee away. Two more breaths here. Then as we release, we'll come into a twist. So if you have the block underneath your low back, remove that now. And then let your right foot fall onto the ground on the left side of you. You can let your left knee come down towards the earth. This might be enough, or maybe you want to take a different form of a twist, right? You can also bend your right knee towards the earth a bit more, or keep it straighter and keep the right foot right by your left hip. Arms can be out at a T or cactus. Gaze up at the ceiling or over to the right. Send your breath to your hips. Giving them permission to be fluid and stable. Two more breaths here. And as we release, we'll come back up through center. And exchange out your legs. The left knee bends, left foot comes to your right thigh. Option to stay here. Or to bring your legs in towards your chest, maybe add the block underneath your low back. Engage at the hamstrings, or maybe at your shin. Attentive to your left toes, keeping them flexed to protect your knee. Right knee comes in towards your chest, left knee pushes away from your body. Two more breaths here. And then exhale, release. Prepare for the twist. Remove the block if it's there. Then allow your left foot to slide down towards the earth. Right knee meets the ground. Arms can be out to the side or cactus. Let your left hip be nice and heavy. It might be a bit lifted, but let the energy of it be towards the earth. One more breath in here. Release. Come back to center. Place both feet on the mat. And we'll prepare for bridge pose here. Let's begin by bringing our elbows in close to our torso, fingers towards the sky. Both feet point towards the bottom of your mat. As you inhale, push down through your feet. Remember the connection that you've made with your toes, with the 4 points of stability on our feet. Hips rise towards the ceiling. You can move your shoulder blades closer together. Either leave your hands in robot arm position or interlace your hands underneath you. Let your heart move up towards the sky. Neck is neutral. Push down through your feet, push down through your forearms. Let the hips float up. Our feet are a huge source of stability here in this pose, but so are our glutes and our shoulders and our forearms and the base of our skull. All of these pieces working together. Take 2 more breaths here. Then exhale, release. Come on down slowly. As your knees knock in towards each other, take your feet wide. Inhale your arms out to the side. And then exhale, give yourself a hug here. Let your arms cross over your body. Squeeze your knees together, squeeze your elbows together. We'll change the cross on our arms. So inhale up, extend your arms out to the side, and then exhale, change the cross for your hug. Your fingers can grab at your shoulder blades. One more breath in here. Then exhale, let your hands come down by your side. Bring our knees in towards our chest. Roll into a teeny ball. If it's comfortable to lift your head and bring your chin towards your chest, feel free to do so. One more breath in. And then exhale, release yourself down. Feet come to the mat. Take your time as you extend your legs out for Shavasana. Allow your shoulder blades to come underneath your body. Hands can rest down at your side, either palms up or palms down. And as you settle into this resting posture, drinking in the sweetness of rest, particularly after a lot of hard work. I invite you to call to mind where you feel strong. Where do you feel strong in your body? And then next, where do you feel strong in your mind? Lastly, where do you feel strong in your soul? Rest into that strength for a few moments of quiet. You wake back up to your space this morning. I invite you to embody that wake up with strength and stability. What does it look like to bring some movement back with that in mind? And when you're ready, go ahead and roll onto one side, taking the fetal position. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Take a moment to be mindful, to set an intention. What does living in strength and stability look like this week? And then when you're ready, come on up to seated. Take a closing breath together. Cactus your arms. Thank you so much for joining today, everybody. Great to be with you. Happy Sunday. And I'm wishing you a strong week of strength and flexibility. Peace, friends. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon. And hope that it's a great week.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks, Catherine.
Welcome.
You too.